Good morning. Whether you're here at Unity Temple, watching this on the internet, or listening to a DVD, I appreciate the chance to share this hour with you. It's a great privilege for me to be in your presence as we explore spirituality, a spiritual awareness, and find a way in which we can make life better. I welcome you to another grand and glorious day on the planet Earth. Have you happened to be in the midst of a difficult time right now, facing a problem that you just think too big to solve, or a challenge that's too big to overcome? Or perhaps you've had a loss or a setback? Don't worry. Don't feel defeated. Don't give up. Don't feel all is lost. But know that the Spirit within you is undefeatable. It is inexhaustible, and it will give you whatever you need to move through this time and return to a state of peace of mind and a high sense of well-being. Life is good, it's getting better, and we can make the best of every moment. That is the power of God. That is the power of the God Spirit within each and every one of you. I read in the newspaper this week that people 50 years old or more worry less than younger people. Yay! She knows that there's an end in sight to all this worry that she's fraught with. And I know why that is. I was sitting at my desk earlier this week, and I was dealing with a situation that was extremely difficult to handle. I didn't know what to do with it. And I sat there and I looked out my office window, my brow furrowed, my jaw clenched, my stomach churning, and I worried, and I worried, and I worried, and I worried. And then I was reminded that I had a board meeting to go to, so I got up and went to the board meeting and put my worries on pause. After the board meeting, I went home, had a bite to eat, watched television, went to bed, and as I lie down in my bed, it suddenly dawned on me that I had a worry I needed to attend to. But I couldn't remember what it was. People 50 years and older worry less because we forget what we're supposed to be worrying about. That is the truth of the matter. The other day I found myself standing in the middle of the stairway, and I couldn't remember what I was going after. And then I couldn't remember whether I was going upstairs or downstairs. But I think as we get older, we remember the stuff that's important, and the stuff that is important, that it is good to be alive, that life is good, it is getting better, and we can make the most of every moment. You know, currently there is a wave of new thought that's spreading over the world, and it's called spirituality. Now, spirituality is different than religion. Religion is a set of doctrines and a set of creeds and a set of rules and a set of regulations that say you do this and you do that. Where spirituality is totally different. Spirituality is a way of seeing things. It is a state of mind. Spiritual awareness has clarity, it has a sense of calmness, and it has a sense of confidence to it. About 2 weeks ago, I went to get my eyes tested after 12 years. And I got a new prescription. And when I went to get my glasses and put them on for the first time, I saw a whole different world than I'd been seeing the last 12 years. Everything was clean, everything was crisp, every form took on a sharper image. It was just incredible. All the fuzziness of my seeing was gone. All the fuzziness that I'd taken for granted as normal disappeared, and I saw the world in a totally different way. Now, that's very much the same as it is with spirituality and spiritual awareness. We begin to see things in a totally different way. Every situation and circumstance that takes place in our lives, there's many different ways that we can perceive it, from all sorts of different angles. But when we come to it with the spiritual awareness, we go beneath the surface, down to the meaning or the cause of what's taking place. That increases our understanding of it. And the deeper our understanding is of anything is directly relative to the degree of peace we have with anything. So on Sunday morning, we study spirituality. We increase our spiritual awareness. And on the spiritual path, progress is made in little steps that leads to grand advancements. For years, great spiritual masters, and philosophers have talked about a state of mind that is different than the normal waking state. In Buddhism, they call it nirvana. And they say, in this state of mind, everything becomes worthy of a caress. In Zoroastrianism, they call it paradise, and they say the lovelier becomes loveliest. In Hinduism, they call it a mystical union with their god, Brahman, and the person is totally absorbed by the present moment. And in Christianity, Jesus called it heaven. Now, when Jesus talked about heaven, he wasn't talking about a destination that we go to when we leave this world. He was talking about a state of mind here and now, a way that you can perceive the world that leaves a lot of the worry, the anxiety, and the stress out of your everyday experience. He said it's a way of seeing things that allows you to rise above and truly find the fulfillment and the joy in life that is oftentimes dampened by our worries, fears, anxieties, and doubts. He said you move to a place you actually have a love or an acceptance, an unconditional acceptance of all that is. Now, the disciples often came to Jesus and said, this kingdom of heaven sounds great. How do we get it? Where do we have to go? What do we have to do? What do we have to become? I want to experience heaven. And quite simply, Jesus said, you guys, you're just not getting it. It's here and now. It's everywhere. It's just that you don't see it. Because your attention isn't here and now, it is someplace else. Well, perhaps the same is true for us. Perhaps we're not getting the joy out of life, we're not finding the exuberance in life, we're not finding the love and the thrill and the enthusiasm of life because our attention is someplace else. It's not in the present moment, it is someplace else. And where would that be? If our attention isn't in the present moment, where is it? Well, there's only 3 dimensions in where the attention can reside. Attention can be focused on many different things, but it only can reside in 3 dimensions. One is the past, one is the present, and one is the future. That's all we have, 3 dimensions of attention. And if our attention isn't in the present moment, it's either residing in the past, with regret, with remorse, with guilt, with shame, and with all those other things that take us out of the present moment and don't feel good. It hurts us. We suffer under it. If our attention isn't in the present moment, and it's not in the past, it's in the future. With all sorts of thoughts of worry. What's going to happen? Well, what about me? What's going to happen? What about me? What if? What if? What if? And whether our attention is in the past or in the future, it doesn't make any difference. What happens is we lose the present moment, and the present moment is the only time that we have to live. See, life has an energy to it. It has a vibrance to it. It has a vibrant beat, so to speak. And that vibrant beat, that energy, life can only take place right here, right now. That's what Jesus was telling the disciples. If you're not experiencing heaven, you're not here and you're not now. Your mind, your attention is someplace else. So in the present moment, this vibrant beat of life is something that being animated and being involved in it is something that we dance to. We dance to the vibrant beat of life when we're in the present moment. We dance to the vibrant beat of life when we're in the present moment. When we're right here and when we're right now. It's the only time we have to live. Every worry, fear, anxiety, doubt that you have takes place in the future, or it takes place in the past. It's not here now about anything that's happening in this present moment. You know, we have a great spiritual power which is called the power of reflection.